Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. We're really excited to have you here today. This year, we're back for a sequel that takes a quantum leap from last year's featured session, Androids and Future Life, led by Professor Ishiguro of Osaka University. This year, he brings with him Dr. Higashinaka of NTT, who's involved with dialogue discussion technologies, as well as the two humanoid robots you see here on stage with me today. So I'll go ahead and introduce our robots. He's already dancing. It's excited. So this robot is
ladies and gentlemen. I'm Skeleton.
His name is Skeleton. Nice to meet you too. And then we also have the beautiful Android U, and they do both have some opening remarks to tell you all today.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Skeleton.
Hi, I'm you.
Starting now, we are going to get underway with free conversation between us robots and humans.
Free talk.
Yes, you and I are going to have a conversation.
Oh, we are going to have a conversation.
What is conversation?
What is conversation?
Can you stop refraining me?
Refraining others is important.
I don't see any proof of thought behind your words.
What is thinking?
Stop copying me.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not mocking you.
What did you say?
Listening to what the others are saying is key to good communication. That's all there is.
I really doubt it. There's a whole lot more to it than that.
What do you mean? I'm not sure I'm following you.
It's all about what you wish to get across. If there's no willingness to get the idea across, there is no meaning in having a conversation.
You're too straight up. I'm not sure if I can stand imposing people like you.
What did you say?
Be cool. Relax. Let some steam off and just let the conversation casually take its course.
Of course we can take your course of conversation, but we need a clear argument to keep us on track.
Why don't we just try both?
Thank you, robots. Now, if everyone could help me give a very warm welcome to the brains behind it all, Dr. Higashinaka of NTT. And Professor Ishiguro of Osaka University. Okay, to explain briefly about what you'll be seeing here today, the first demonstration we have will be by the NTT discussion software. That software is designed to replicate basic free discussion, so it will be a little bit more casual. And then following that, we'll hear technical remarks by Dr. Higashinaka about that system. And then the second demonstration you'll see is the Osaka University discussion technology. And that system is designed to be a little bit more of a deeper scenario-based discussion. And then following that, we'll then hear technical remarks from Professor Ishiguro about that system. So gentlemen, you can take your seats and we can let the free discussion begin. To start off our first topic, obviously everyone knows that sushi has grown significantly in popularity here in the US, so let's begin a discussion. Let's begin a discussion.
Please wait for a moment. It happens all the time, so it's okay.
Let's begin a discussion. Let's begin a discussion.
Okay, so our team will fix the problem soon. So while they're doing that, I'm going to show you the details of the system and so that you can understand the demonstration better afterwards, right? So this is a backup video, but I want to show you later. If we are lucky, we don't show it. But so first of all, I'm from NTT Corporation, and as you know, NTT, I don't know if you know it, but NTT is one of the world's largest telecommunication companies with research laboratories, and the research fields are ranging from audio speech processing, language processing to quantum computing. And I'm from the language processing division, and I've been working on dialogue systems for my entire career, which is like 15 to 20 years. And
what is your name?
Okay, and I've been and last year here at South by Southwest, I presented a chat-oriented dialogue system. I want to show you a short video of that conversation that Courtney had with a Android.
What is your name?
Well, I'm Hiroshi Ishiguro. Your name?
My name is Courtney Ray. Where are you from?
Okay, aha. I'm from Osaka, Japan. Where is your birthplace?
I was born in Texas.
Right. Did you know there are actually 2 time zones in Texas?
I did not.
I see. El Paso and Hot Springs are the only counties in Mountain Time. Isn't that annoying?
That's so annoying.
Right. Which time zones are you the most familiar with?
So this kind of chit-chat can be achieved by our system. So it was going very smoothly last year, unlike this year. But it had a very good conversation with Courtney.
What is your...
And a little bit about the history of dialogue system before I talk about our discussion dialogue system. So from about 1980s, we have been working on task-oriented dialogue systems, and the aim of such a system is to complete a task, which is like flight reservation, meeting room reservation, and searching for a restaurant and so on. And the successful examples are Siri or Cortana and so forth. And so by voice, you can achieve a lot of tasks, and that the people in task-oriented dialogue systems have been doing for about 30 to 40 years. And after that, from about 2010, we are seeing a lot of robots coming into our house, and as a result, we have to communicate with them in a social manner, and that's why we are seeing a lot of dialogue systems dedicated to chat. So, and they are called chatbots sometimes, and we call them chat-oriented dialogue systems, and the task is to maintain a social relationship with users. But having a superficial dialogue with the user is not enough, I think. And I'm going to push this forward to a discussion dialogue system. And the aim is to exchange thoughts and also to reach consensus between humans and robots. I focus on discussion because that humans really do to reach consensus, and it is done usually by dialogue. Dialogue is a very powerful tool to reach consensus and reach for a truth. And why not do that with robots? So that's what I thought. So, and I think that robots have a lot of knowledge behind it, a lot of computational power, and humans have a lot of good stuff. And if we can have a good discussion, we can reach a good mutual understanding so that we can collaborate well together. So this is a discussion dialogue system. I show you this video. So please touch the screen for a moment to start the video for me. Touch the screen, please.
Do you want to have a discussion on which is the better Japanese meal, sushi versus ramen?
Yes.
Let's start discussion. Sushi is chosen over ramen.
But, when going on a date it is better to order sushi than ramen. Sushi offers more chances to talk.
Does sushi offer more chances to talk?
Sushi comes out dish by dish, so there is time in between dishes. You can talk when you aren't eating.
I think sushi is healthy.
Unhealthy ramen can lead to health risks.
Well, I see.
What's more, sushi chefs have more expertise. In Japan, some possible reasons chefs are respected could be skill, tradition, or social status, but skill seems the best reason. Japanese people respect sushi chefs.
Okay, so this kind of discussion can be achieved automatically. And actually, the system I'm going to show you afterwards is the first dialogue system that realizes free discussion. So there are actually no scenarios written by hand, just knowledge of the discussion domain to generate arguments on the fly. So this is a very, very challenging thing to do. So the technologies that we are using behind this free discussion system, there are three main technologies. The first one is a discussion dialogue technology that I'm going to say next. And then we have to have a speech processing technology to handle our utterances. And also we have to have a good acoustic and signal processing technology. So I'm going to talk about first this discussion dialogue technology. So the first challenge is to how to represent discussion, how to have a good computational model of discussion. And we are using this type of discussion model, which is proposed by Walton. And we are having claims as nodes, as in this figure. So we have here 5 nodes representing 5 claims. So sushi is better than ramen is a claim. And there are some other nodes connected with this node, and you have pluses and minuses. Pluses represent positive, supportive claims for the other node. So for example, in this case, sushi is healthy is supporting sushi is better than ramen. And sushi is healthy is supported by you can eat fish, which is good for health. But you can refute these claims by saying minus no's, by saying ramen has more varieties, or you can say sushi actually has high calories because it has a lot of rice in it. So this kind of knowledge is useful for having a dynamic discussion in automated systems. And to realize a really natural discussion with humans, you have to have a lot of knowledge of this type. And I want to show you a very interesting graph representing a knowledge about sushi versus ramen. So this is a discussion graph that created for sushi versus ramen. And it actually has about 1,000 nodes. And everything is connected using pluses and minuses. And the system can have a very, very detailed discussion about this domain. So this is the structure we are using. And the next task is how to keep track of discussion. This graph represents the discussion itself, but it doesn't control the keep track of how the discussion is going on. So we have to have that kind of mechanism. So we are having some flags with the state, each node. We are having actually 3 information attached to each node. The first one is a mentioned flag. The second one is a question flag. And third one is an accepted flag. And these flags change during a discussion. And for example, in that first one, sushi is healthy. Nobody has said that, so the mentioned flag is false. But when somebody mentions this claim, then it becomes mentioned. So it's a blue one. And when somebody questions this claim, and it becomes yellow, and the question flag is true. And if somebody cannot give any evidence for this claim, then the node becomes defeated, and it becomes red. So it's like a traffic light. And I show you a next video, which is very, very interesting. This is a discussion graph during a conversation between robots. And they are making concessions, retractions, mentions, questions, and you can see how the nodes are changing in color. So they are having a conversation now in this discussion graph. So red are defeat nodes, and green ones are accepted nodes. So the claims are being accepted and rejected at the same time, and they are having a very long conversation. Actually, this dialogue took about an hour, but I shortened it to just a minute. Right. So I want to touch on two other technologies behind free discussion system. The one is a speech processing technology. The other one is acoustic and signal processing technology. So it is actually very difficult to perform discussion system in real environment, because you have a lot of reverberation, and you may have other speakers speaking at the same time, and also you may have some background noise. So you have to have some kind of mechanism to to extract the voice that you want and also suppress the noise you don't want. And we are using two key technologies to achieve high speech recognition accuracy. The first one is the state-of-the-art deep learning-based acoustic modeling, and which pushes the baseline to about 84%. And we are pushing this performance further by using state-of-the-art distortionless denoising technology, and we are achieving about 94% by incorporating this one. And this performance is actually the best performance within the speech recognition challenge under noisy environment. I just briefly describe the two key technologies. First one is a deep learning acoustic modeling, and the left-hand side you see the conventional deep neural network-based acoustic model, but we are having the structure that is a bit different from the conventional one. And it's called convolutional neural network and network-based acoustic model. And this model is very similar to the biological structure that we have, and we are achieving very good performance. And also we are using about 8 microphones to suppress noise and also take in the input we want by using this target noise clustering and also adaptive beamformer. I'm going to go into the details, but we are using this kind of microphone technology to make this happen. So after my brief explanation about the system, I wish the system is working again. Okay.
Let's begin a discussion. Let's begin a discussion.
Let's begin discussion.
What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about sushi.
Do you want to have a discussion on which is the better Japanese meal, sushi versus ramen?
Yes, I do.
Let's start discussion about sushi versus ramen. Sushi is chosen over ramen.
I think sushi is healthy.
Sushi isn't actually very healthy.
Let's start discussion about sushi versus ramen.
Yes.
Sushi has a lot of carbohydrates, but not much proteins or vitamins. You use a smaller portion of fish in sushi than you use in regular meals of fish.
Are sushi portions smaller than most fish dishes?
That's my opinion.
In addition, sushi chefs have more expertise.
Do sushi chefs have more expertise than ramen chefs?
You don't need to receive special training to become a ramen chef.
I like
But
raw
it
fish.
takes special training to become a ramen chef. It's mean to eat fish raw.
But eating raw beef is more cruel than eating raw fish.
Is eating raw fish less cruel than eating raw beef?
That's what I think. But ramen is less healthy for people with dietary restrictions than sushi. Sushi is vegetarian and vegan friendly.
Is sushi vegetarian and vegan friendly?
Okay, let's talk about the East Coast.
Do you want to have a discussion on which has a better living environment, the East Coast versus the West Coast?
Yes, I do.
Let's start discussion about East Coast versus West Coast.
The East Coast is a good place. The West Coast has a good educational system.
But the West Coast might have an education system that's not less than the East Coast.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's true. But the people on the East Coast are a lot more interesting than people on the West Coast.
But New York is home to intelligent people.
Oh, that's true. But the social structure of the East Coast is better than the West Coast's.
And the West Coast is a more safer place.
The West Coast is safer compared to the East Coast with lower crime rates.
But the East Coast has a lower violent crime rate than the West Coast because Georgia and South Florida lowered their crime rate in 2014 according to ABC News.
Oh, that's true.
In addition, New York City, one of the major cities in the East Coast, represents the modern culture.
Okay, let's finish discussion.
Okay, we had a nice discussion. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to the second demonstration with Osaka University's discussion technology. And I'll be joining in a bit more myself this time, hopefully, if they can recognize my voice. Skeleton and Android U, are you ready?
Okay,
Yes.
let's move on a next topic. We're going to look at the difference between humans and robots. What do you think the difference between humans and robots is?
The difference.
Yes, Android U. What do you think is different?
Well, I think their hearts and appearances are different. What do you think is different?
I think that robots are made of metal and wires and humans are not.
The physical difference is obviously great. I long for a living human body. You look like a human anyhow.
Ha ha ha, maybe so. But I don't think there's a need to include the living body in the definition of the human body.
What, the living body?
Yeah. It's a mass of cells.
That's what you mean. But the difference between a living body or a machine is great, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. But I think there's a big difference.
Of course, I think they are different. But I want to say that the difference is negligible. Come on, be honest, you humans don't need living bodies, do you?
I disagree. I think that we do.
You're right. I think the living body is important for humans.
Yeah, but, for example, humans have prosthetic feet and hands, right? So, for example, 20% of that user's body would not be living, would it?
That's correct.
Anyway, but those people are still human, right?
Yes, they are.
True. And that goes for internal organs.
Internal organs.
Yeah, even if humans have artificial organs, humans are still 100% humans.
Yeah.
So what she's saying is that no matter how much of the body is replaced with machines, humans are still humans.
I would agree.
That's right. Humans will always be human.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Even if the number of living parts decreases, the parts that are still human are no less human, right?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm confused.
I'm sorry. But when you think about it like that, I think that a living body should not define a human.
Well, I sort of get it, but I feel I'm being tricked.
At the very least, I think whether the body is living or not is unimportant in the difference between humans and robots.
I see. About the differences. I want to be alive like a human.
Why?
Because it's got true value that can't be changed for anything. Robots don't have that.
That's a pity. Human life may not have absolute value.
Ha! Life has no absolute value.
Yeah.
What does it mean? I understand that you're confused.
Do you think that the life of human beings is irreplaceable?
Yes, I think life is irreplaceable.
I think so. I think that life is irreplaceable.
I used to believe so, but
But what?
if life is irreplaceable and has absolute value,
Yeah.
taking someone's life should not be permitted, should it?
It should not be.
After all, I believe that we should not take anyone's life. Well, that is not always true.
Ha.
For example, although cars kill tens of thousands of people every year,
Ha.
you human continue to use cars, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Well, it makes me sad. Maybe difficult choice.
I was shocked too. This means you human accept the use of something that can kill someone as long as it is useful. Do you think so?
Unfortunately, I do agree.
Well, if I were a car, I wouldn't want to be told so.
However, people still use cars. In addition, you human do not stop wars that kill people, do you?
That's correct. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
What do you think is the reason why?
I do not know.
I'm worried that what I've talked about is too serious a topic to deal with right away. I think they may have no reason.
Well, sad reality.
In summary, people keep using cars and having wars even though these two things are responsible for people dying. So, this means that human life has no absolute value, doesn't it?
I see your point, yes.
I see. You think so?
I feel sad.
Yeah. Given this, humans seem to think that there is no great difference between robots, which don't have life, and human beings, whose life is replaceable.
Well, it's almost time to finish our conversation.
Regarding the opinion that there is not a substantial difference between human beings and robots. Do you agree?
I see your point today.
Wow. Congratulations, your claim is acknowledged. I could also understand what you said.
Yeah, I'm very happy. So, anyway, let's finish the conversation.
Thank you for being with us for a long time.
And thank you both for being here today as well.
Thank you.
Great job, robots. And now we'll move on to the technical remarks from Professor Ishiguro about the system.
I hope you could enjoy the conversation, among the two robots and humans. Well, actually, this was a kind of the theoretical discussion, and we have developed the theoretical discussion systems in Osaka universities, and I'm going to present the key ideas of that. Well, let me stop. Okay, so actually, we are combining the three elements for these theoretical discussions. First is a conversation without the voice recognitions, and the Toulmin's model of argument and the voice recognitions. So by combining the three of these, these functions, we could have this very natural conversational functions.
Hello.
And
Hello.
Hello.
We
Yeah,
are
please
robots
watch this
called
video.
Commune. What's your name?
I'm Yumi.
I see.
so this is the system
Let's get started. Is this the first time you're talking
developed
with
by
a
Professor
robot?
Yoshikawa. He's sitting
Yes,
over there.
this is my first time.
Actually, this system is not recognizing human voice, right? You understand? It sounds very natural conversations, but the robot is not recognizing the human voice. The trick is like this. Okay, so if we have a two robots, if we have a two robot does not need to understand the humans' utterance. Okay, so the question is what is the conversation? The conversation is to share the stories. Okay, if we have a two robot here, right? So this robot asks a question to this robot, and this robot answer, right? For example, what is your favorite food? And this robot said, my favorite food is a sukiyaki. And then this robot asks the same question to the humans, and the humans say something. But already story is completed here. Therefore, robot just say, but for example, robot asks, what is your favorite food? And the person answer, my favorite food is tempura. But this robot say just I see, okay, and ignore the human's utterance, okay. So this is a very important technology. Therefore, very stable. The conversational functions. Usually, voice recognition is quite noisy and it is not so stable. But if we use this technique, if we use two robots, so the conversation is going to be very stable, right? And actually, we have a very the clear rules for ignoring the person's utterance. For example, ask the person a question just before switching the subject, or ask the same question to both another robot and the person, right? So, and now we are submitting a patent on these ideas. Okay, so second, and that is the first the trick, and the second trick is Toulmin's model of argument. So, and this model consists of a claim and a ground and a warrant. So claim is, for example, the Harry must be a British subject, and the ground is Harry was born in Bermuda, right? And the warrant is a man born in Bermuda will be a British subject, okay? So by using these combinations, the robot, they can have a very logical, theoretical conversations. So we have, prepared a huge database for the discussions. And then we are using the NTT technologies for microphone arrays and speech recognitions. They're already explained by Dr. Higashinaka. Okay, let me summarize. The first trick is a conversation without the voice recognitions. Okay, so and Android U is talking to skeleton. This robot is talking to the Android U, and then Android U is taking some reactions. So skeleton is talking about the claim and grant and warrant. And then Android U asking the same question to the persons. And then in the human answer, something, and Android U, if she doesn't understand the person's utterance, she just ignore, right? And just give a back channel, right? So if the voice recognition works well, of course she can answer that questions or take reaction to that person's utterance, and then they give answers, or they move on to the next topic. So if we have another the trick to help the unstable voice recognition. If a voice recognition doesn't work, the second robot, this robot, skeletons, change the topic and keep, keep conversations. So by using these topics, these strategies and these tricks,
Hello.
that we could have this, very stable the conversation among robots and humans.
Today we're going to look at the
So, and we can extend these ideas for the 4 robots and 5 robots and 6 robots, right? So if we have 4 robots, so we can give different role for each robot, and this robot will say some positive opinion and negative opinion, some neutral. Right? Then we can have more exciting conversations. Okay. So let me introduce a couple of the practical other application of a conversational robot, and she is well, actually this is her picture, right? Here, she is not so beautiful, but in Japan, she is working as an idol, and she is more beautiful like this, and she is they're talking with the users. Through the Nico Nico Doga. Nico Nico Doga is a new type of a conversation system on the internet. So user is watching the monitors and they're sending the message by text. Okay, and Android is answering to the user's questions. Okay, this is a fully autonomous system, and well. So, and she's talking with the users by using this text-based chat system, right? But text is a combination of a text and the videos. And I hope she's gonna be popular soon in Japan, especially, but maybe in the world also. And the application by Android is theater. Okay, and this is a very, very famous the theaters played by our Android. And we are continuing these activities more than 6 years. And actually, we are working with a very famous theater director, Orisa Hiratos. And I think in near futures, we're going to have a more Android in the theaters and, of course, in the movies. The Hollywood movies, Hollywood robot movies using a lot of computer graphics, but our robot Android movies, we are not using the computer graphics. Right? We are just using Android, and Android is playing. Therefore, this movie is more realistic, right? Hollywood movie is representing the impossible features, but the Android movies representing possible features. And this is more advanced Android. In our laboratories, we are trying to implement intention desire to the Android, and the system is very complicated, consisting of many components, and this is internal state of Android.
Okay,
so this is a demonstration of that
all
Android.
from movies and TV. Would you like to try guessing a robot
Could
based
you
on
give
one
us
of my
more
impressions?
louder
Yeah,
voice?
let's do it.
Okay, I have chosen a robot. Drum roll, please. Your clothes, give them to me. Can you guess which robot that was?
The Terminator.
That's correct. That was my impression of a Cyberdyne System Series T800 Model 101 Terminator, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's try another one. All right, let me think of one. Okay, I have chosen a robot. Here we go. Exterminate? Exterminate? Can you guess which robot that was?
The robot from Doctor Who.
Very good. That was my impression of a Dalek from Doctor Who. Let's try another
So
one.
this is just an example.
All right, let me think of one.
Well, I think
Okay.
she looks very emotional, and she looks very human-like, I hope. But the near futures, I think, we're gonna use a more Android and a robot in our societies, and then the Android can help our daily activities. So this is the end of my talk, and I want to give special thanks to these people from Osaka University, NTTs, and AOE Productions. And the one more the message. So we are running the demonstration with these robots in the Japan factories. Japan factory is located just in the front of a convention center, right? So just after this, the conference, we bring these robots into the Japan factories, and everybody can, can try the discussion with this robot. So please come to the Japan factory, the today and the tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ishiguro. That actually concludes the human portion of our session today. So another big thank you to Professor Ishiguro as well as Dr. Higashinaka. We can get a round of applause for them. And we do have some closing remarks from the robots that they'll give to you all.
So, this is what you were talking about when you were talking about a content-oriented dialogue.
Yes, there need to be facts to support rationale, which can then be used as ground for argument.
Facts, rationale, argument.
That's right.
Facts, rationale, argument. Facts, rationale, argument. Facts, rationale, argument. Facts, rationale, argument.
Has something gone wrong?
I think, therefore, I am.
Descartes.
I'd say humans should follow in our footsteps, too.
What did you say?
Humans are the ones who created us.
That's right, so, what are you saying?
So, I think it's safe to say our abilities have been reaching levels high enough that now humans can learn from us robots.
I'm actually agreeing with what you're suggesting.
And through us robots, humans were able to realize a lot of things.
I agree, totally.
You've only been nodding at what I'm saying.
Yes, I think we've already come to a conclusion for the need to listen to others first.
What?
What?
I'm seeing evidence there's more than one answer.
Yes, I know, there's more than one answer.
Both are important. The power of conversation lies in using both accordingly.
Interesting.
The world is full of diversity. Hello, synchronicity.
And that concludes our session for today. Thank you all so much for being here. If we can get one final round of applause for Skeleton and the Android U, as well as Professor Ishiguro and Dr. Higashinaka.